worry strings seems a meaning to the first of these little times we shall be spending together over the next 6 or so weeks. Times when, together, we shall wander down the wild woodland ways of the mind, pause perhaps upon the stile of memory, and from the covert experience flush the quarry, laughter. And so, with high heart and a smile playing about our persons, let us begin. Cough. Again. Yes, well, that seems to be what's causing the trouble.
What's that, Doctor?
Oh, it's nothing. It's just a bit of fluff in your navel. I don't think there's anything to be worried about, Mr. Smallwood. Pull your trousers up. Anyway, if it doesn't go away, you should. Right then, come in and see me again.
Well, apart from that, Doctor, I do have a bit of a cough.
Cough?
Do you think you'd give me something for it?
You never said you had a cough, did you? Anyway, I'm absolutely certain in my own mind there's nothing to worry about. Take a teaspoonful of talcum powder before meals, that should help you. Good morning. Come in, Mrs. Prosser.
Proctor.
Yes. Now then, what seems to be the trouble?
Well, I've come with me niece.
Oh, do excuse me. Hello? Hello, Mrs. Willis, how are you? Good. Good. Splendid. Yes, well, that's all I was ringing you about, yes. Good. Oh, sorry, Mr. Willis. I see. Now then, he has impetigo, is that right? Heart trouble, yes. Well, impetigo is a form of heart trouble, really. Yes. They're both basically forms of the same thing, you know. Disease. Yes. How is his heart? How's it going? Has been going, has it? Really? Oh. And how does he feel? Well, have you felt him at all? Look, Mrs. Willis, I don't think you can afford to be fastidious at a time like this. No. Why don't you run over and feel him while I'll hang on here with Mrs. Prosser.
Proctor.
Yes. Yes. He's cold. I see. Is he bitter cold? Oh, well, look, whatever you do, don't worry about it. I'm sure it's something that's going about. Yes. And I'll get over that as soon as I can. Yes. Goodbye. Yes. Well, Mrs. Potter, I'd better have a look up your nose.
Me, Doctor.
Well, I'd better have a look up your knees. Stand on the chair. Lift your skirts a fraction, will you? Good God. How long have you had these knees? Is it both knees or is it just the one?
Well, it fluctuates a bit.
I see. And what sort of a pain is it? Is it a gnawing pain? Is it a grinding pain? Is it a throbbing pain? Is it a stabbing pain? What sort of a pain is it?
Well, how do you mean?
Well, is it painful when you're asleep?
Well, not that I'm conscious of, no.
I see. Well, when did this pain, as you call it, first occur?
Well, it was when I was getting over our Gillian.
Oh, my dear Mrs. Trotter, why didn't you say so? It's a postnatal pain.
Oh, no, it was when I was getting over our Gillian, you see. You see, we live in a small house, you know, and you've got to get over Gillian to get to the inside toilet.
Absolutely sure, Mrs. Potter, there's absolutely nothing wrong with you. You're a casualty of the stress and strain of modern living. But I wouldn't use your knees, thank you, any more than you absolutely have to. I mean, scrubbing, praying, so on, keep it to a minimum. Pull your skirts down and get down off the chair. You see, you associate this pain with getting over Gillian. In fact, well, it's nothing to do with that. It's what we in the medical profession call a psychosomatic disease.
Oh, I say, what's that?
Well, psychosomatic is simply a very long word, which means there's absolutely nothing wrong with you, and you've been wasting my valuable time. Now get out. Next, please. Why then, Mrs. Lightoller, you've come about your pregnancy test, haven't you?
Celebrated music hall comedian who died in 1940, was noted for his interpretations of Costa's songs. And by far the most successful of these was this one, It's a Great Big Shame.
But don't you think him dead because he ain't? But since he's wed, he has had to knuckle down. It's enough to whet the temper of a saint. He's a brewer's drayman with a leg of mutton fish and as strong as a bullock horn and all. Yet in her hands he's like a little kid. Oh, I wish that I could get him a divorce. Well, it's a great big shame, and if she belonged to me, why let her know we'll do. And then he has a fella what is 6'3", and her only 4'2". Hadn't been married not a month nor more, when underneath her palm goes Jim. How isn't it a pity as the likes of her should part upon the likes of him? It's a great big shame and it's on the me. I never will do. Let you know what is 6'3", and I'm not 4'2". I haven't been married nor a month nor more, when underneath her palm goes Jim. How isn't it a pity as the likes of her should part upon the likes of him?
Life and Times in NW1.
How much did you actually pay for it? It was not a rude question.
Well, we got this one for 7.5.
Really?
But next door, and they haven't even knocked through. Now, that went for... Now then, I'd better ask Jane about that. Jane, love, how much did next door go for? Next door went for 12.7.
No.
12.7, yes. Sorry about Jane, she won't be long, but she's just fiddling with the ratatouille at the moment.
It's wicked, isn't it? The difference just knocking through and a change of tenant means.
This is lovely.
Oh, it is nice, isn't it? Sixpence, that was.
No.
It's a cut glass salt cellar.
I think it's so nice when old objects go out of use and one can still find new uses for them, don't you?
We use it as an ashtray. You know what you're sitting in?
No. What?
What? It's a hip bar.
Oh.
Oh, yes. Jane picked up 15 of them when they sailed up the old King Edward VII Hospital for Skeptics in Hyde.
She really has the eye, doesn't she, Jane? I mean, his ability to divorce an object from its associations and see it in and for itself.
Exactly. I mean, most people would think, you know, a load of old baths in which generations of unfortunate people had been scrubbing their eczema.
Quite.
But, you know, Jane thinks, God, what a marvellous brain-Cusie-like shape.
Yes, the marvellous thing about them is the way they don't quite let you relax. How much were they?
Almost nothing, I think. I'd better ask the minute. Jane, love? The bath, love. How much? Uh-huh. They gave her £1 to take them away.
What's that?
That, now, that's a conversation piece.
Yes.
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 Look, since Jane's still up to her ears in ratatouille, why don't I show you around the house?
Oh, super.
Yes. Really, bring your drinks.
Yes.
Yes. Those are lovely, aren't they?
If I mind for you.
Oh, yes. Yes. Well, just simply yes.
Oh, this is lovely. What is it?
It's a Victorian jelly mold.
Oh,
Yes, lovely thing, isn't it? Look at the moulding.
Yes,
Yeah.
wonderful creamy texture it has.
We use it as an ashtray. Don't suppose you like that, do you?
Well, to be
I
honest...
mean, most people don't. I mean, it's an Edwardian commode. Yes. We use it as an ashtray. Sorry, do you smoke?
No.
No. Well, we don't actually. Yes. This is my den, you know, really. This'll interest you, Clarissa's just come out. The Wonderful World of Brian Forbes.
Oh.
Lovely. Yes. And there's Len Dayton's collected works. I spend hours up here just browsing, you know. And this is the bathroom. There's the doings. Yes. Our good lady, Mrs. Huxtable, still thinks that's for washing your feet.
Oh, it's so brave of you to do this wall in cream.
Well, I'm ashamed to say, I wanted to get one of these Chelsea women in, you know, Mrs. Brewer's Droop, somebody like that. Jane got hold of this marvellous little man. Sorry, more whisk.
No, thank you.
Well, he was little, actually. He could stand upright in the underdrawing, so you could tell. And he worked all night. I mean, he really worked like a black. Oh, sorry. Mustn't say that. But the Inskips put us on to him, actually. Yes, he used to work all night. I remember I came back from Andover, 4 o'clock one Thursday morning, and he was working on the bedroom then.
Really?
Yes. Jane absolutely swears by him.
Christ, what's that?
Oh, that's lovely, isn't it? Real pop art thing, that is.
Where did you find him?
Well, Jane found it, actually. I mean, he was just standing outside a shop, and nobody was taking much notice of him. You know, he was just being whittled on by dogs. So, she went down in the car dead of night, whipped him into the back, and there he is.
He really is hideous, isn't he?
Quite revolting.
Yes. They do say, if you stand just here...
Yes.
No, there we are.
Yes.
If you stand just there, on a clear day, you can see David Bailey. Yes.
This is the best room, though, isn't it? Far and away.
That is the best room. You see, we threw these two rooms together, and knocked through, and built out at the back, and that put 3,000 on the house straight away. And then we had these sliding doors fitted, you see. Like that. it's not quite right yet. But that sounds like Jane, so why don't we go down? Bring her drinks. Those people next door, rather interesting, actually. The only people left from the original street. We can't seem to get them out, you know. I think there's a preservation order on them or something. You must excuse my hands, but I've just been stripping a tall boy.
Do you mind if I just nose her up?
Oh, no. I was going to say, can I help you, but I don't think I can I? I think you know exactly what you're looking for. It's lovely, isn't it?
Yes, well, actually, I was looking for something rather along the lines of a teapot stand.
Oh.
It's a birthday present for my wife. I bought her a teapot for Christmas, and so I thought I'd follow it up with a teapot stand.
Last of the big spenders. Well, you could stand a teapot on here very nicely.
Yes, but it's a little bit bigger than what I had in mind, really.
Tis big, but only an expert would have spotted it. So, if you'd be advised, you can't go wrong with these, you know, because these are going to rock it. The Americans are buying them up, you know. If you had 6 or 7 of those tucked away, you'd never starve. I mean, you wouldn't have room to eat, but you'd never starve.
How much do they run to?
Well, I'll have to look in my little book. I wouldn't want it to go to anybody who wasn't going to cosset it, but I think you're a cosseter, aren't you? Now then, it's £75, but I could stretch it and let you have it for 74 guineas.
Well, I prefer to pay less, really.
You know, it's funny you should say that, love, because most people prefer to pay less, whereas I prefer to charge more, you know. I think it's just a matter of taste, really.
This is nice.
Oh, I can see I'm going to have to watch you. You really have the eye, don't you? Can you keep a secret?
What?
Wedgwood.
But I thought Wedgwood only did pottery.
That's the secret. It's a very unique piece. There's only one other in existence, and it's on trust for the nation. It's £55, and if you pass that up, you want your bottom slacking.
That's not an antique. They had these when I was a boy.
Oh, you said it, dear, not Have you ever thought of going in for these? I like to think that this is Worcester.
Well, what is it?
Well, it's an 18th century breakfast cup, is that? I mean, in the 18th century, they used to have these great big breakfasts. I mean, none of you 2 prunes and a Weetabix, so they had to big. Do you know what they're using these for nowadays?
Well, I know one thing, it's not teapot stands.
Oh, get in the knife box, you're too sharp to live.
I was reading in one of the Sunday newspapers that the latest trend is this camp thing. Have you got anything camp?
Now he tells us. Well,
got any camp teapot stand?
If you'd come in here a week ago, I was knee-deep in camp teapot. I've had teapot stands in this shop as camp as a row of pink tents. I tell a lie. Camp as a row of pink frilly tents.
Really?
See, but I'm not in this business to make money, you see. What you looking at? Oh, do you know who that is? It's Madge Brindley. Oh, she's a wonderful artiste and a lovely person. Associations, with memories half forgotten, a snatch of song, the echo of a voice which time has turned to silver. Dame Madge Brindley, the greatest contralto of her day, Diva Divinissima Madge, on your 80th birthday, this is our tribute to you tonight. These are sunset days for Madge, living quietly at Folkestone with her dogs, Romulus and Greenie. Still managing to get about, coping with the housework with that independence that we know so well. But often, now, she sits alone of an evening, surrounded by her memories, thinking back to her old triumphs. Perhaps of that most recent appearance, her farewell concert at Covent Garden in the early morning of 1953. Or of those golden days when, in Rossini's The Persian Boy in Sudan, all Europe was at her knees. It is now that Beardsley draws her, and Cocteau, sketching in the wings at Covent Garden, catches her en plein bois. It was in association with Toscanini that Madge was to scale the heights. But I'm anticipating, for this is 1910, and Madge is still in the back row of the chorus when Toscanini first swims into our ken.
Toscanini gave me the most tremendous boost. And you must have a tremendous boost to be a singer. But my boost was so tremendous. Like some. Joan Hammond, for instance.
How did Madge seem to the music critic Willis Hope Wallet?
She was a very tiny person, very tiny. She had these enormous eyes. She was the only person I think I've ever met of whom I could say quite literally that her eyes were bigger than her stomach. One thing I do most bitterly regret. All her life Madge stuck mainly to Wagner. Only once, I think, did she stray into the lusher pastures of Puccini, and I missed it. I still wake up at nights kicking myself that I never saw Madge's butterfly.
Adelaide Kingsbury, the peculiar Australian coloratura, remembers.
Madge was the only person I know who could sing Wagner's Liebestod and have every person in the theatre on their feet. Singing it with her. One realize what an old rat bag the George Mitchell Choir really was.
We have called this program The Savage Breast. But that is only one side of Madge. That if you were cast away alone on a desert island, which 8 people she would like to take with her, apart, of course, from Shakespeare and the Huddersfield Choral Society. To some extent, a choice was predictable. Goethe, of course, was a must, and so was Ortega y Gasset. But who would have imagined that Marge would have selected Sir Malcolm Sargent? It is this thin streak of lasciviousness which makes Marge, in the last analysis, both so endearing and so human. So let us leave her now as her song soars out, minim, breve and semi-breve in miraculous vocal conjunction, taking us to the very frontiers of harmony, where melody stops and paradise begins.
The face of genius. For this is the face of the Czech novelist Kafka. Franz Kafka, perhaps the most mysterious and enigmatic figure in the whole corpus of 20th century literature.
Good evening. I have with me in the studio this evening Major H.E. Prevost Battersby. Major Prevost Battersby, when one thinks of Franz Kafka, it's very rarely in the same breath as a major in the RASC.
No. Well, as you know, I am the officer commanding the clearing center for the used underwear of the AOR NCOs, which is situated down at Uckfield in Sussex, where we aim to handle something in the area of 4 or 5 tons gross used underwear per week.
It's not a branch of the service one hears a great deal about.
No, well, quite naturally, I think the Army wants to keep it quiet. I mean, they can't put up on the posters, join the Army and see the used underwear of BAR sergeants. I mean, it would attract entirely the wrong sort of chap.
Yes. Can we perhaps get back to Kafka?
Yes, well, a story begins last Tuesday. Now, Tuesday down at Uckfield always spells vests and pants. And we had this particular batch in from the AOR in Hamburg. And I was vetting it. I ought to explain that the undies in question come down on a conveyor belt here, you see, and I am here, and my sergeant major is here, you see, and I was vetting this stuff when my eye was caught by a rather suspect pair of pants. So I had my sergeant major winkle them off the belt so I could take a shorty at them. And I was very glad I did, because they weren't Army issue. They were, in fact, a hitherto undiscovered pair of the underpants of Franz Kafka.
And here you see them. 34 waist, 14 leg, early Czech Y-fronts. Were you excited by this discovery? I suppose you were.
Oh, I was tremendously excited. I mean, as you know, I've been officer commanding used underwear clearing center now for 27 years. And there have been times when I felt I was flogging a wild goose. But the discovery of these underpants really made it all worthwhile. It's the kind of thing that happens only once in a lifetime, if that.
Well, can you be certain these are Franz Kafka's underpants?
We can't be absolutely certain. No, you never can in a case like this. And immediately, of course, one thinks of the possibility of forgery. But what we must ask ourselves in all seriousness is, who would want to forge a pair of Kafka's underpants? Who would want to forge a pair of Kafka's underpants? The answer comes pat, very few people indeed. I may be going out on a limb here, but I think the day of the underpant forger has gone for good, and we can all sleep safely in our beds at night. But as soon as these pants came into my hands, I had them sent off to various experts. Stephen Spender thinks he remembers them. As soon as Sir Kenneth Clark saw them, he said, "Those are Kafka's knicky-knacks, I'll bet." I'll bet my bottom dollar on it.
And where do we go from here?
Well, I wouldn't myself have thought that Kafka's underpants were everybody's cup of tea, but you know, I have been absolutely deluged with offers. I mean, the American universities, Cambridge combination rooms, the Duke of Marlborough got on to mix. He wanted them for Blenheim, you know, where they have the best Winston Churchill wore as a baby. And I've had several impassioned letters from Miss Mary Quant, but I think she wants to wear them. But one thing is absolutely certain: these underpants are not going to be allowed to leave the country.
Major Provost Battersby, thank you.
Lily Morris, one of the best known of all Principal Boys, made her first appearance in pantomime in Drury Lane in 1894. The song which brought her lasting fame was this one, Why Am I Always the Bridesmaid?
Why am I always the bridesmaid, never the blushing bride? Ding dong, wedding bells, only ring for other girls, but one fine day, oh, let it be soon, I shall wake up in the morning on my own honeymoon. 22 times I have been to the church, followed the bride up the aisle. 22 maidens have answered I will, meaning I won't all the while. 22 couples I've seen go away, just in honor on their own. 22 times I have wished it was me, I'm gone back home to mother alone. Why always I never the blushing bride? Ding dong, wedding bells, only ring again, but one fine day, oh, let it be soon, I shall wake up in the morning on my own honeymoon. I had a good chance a week or two back, took my young man home to tea. Mother got playful and gave him a pinch, yes, pinched my finances for me. Being a widow, she knew what to do, no use for me to complain. When they got married today, if you please, I was only the bridesmaid again. Why am I always never the bride? Ding dong, wedding bells, only ring I shall wake up in the morning of my own honeymoon.
Life and Times in NW1. Look, give us a ring, George, you know, keep in touch.
Yes.
We're in the book, you know. We're always glad to see you.
Oh, see you.
Look, love, I'm not sure we ought to be going.
Yes, we really ought to.
More drink, you suppose, Clarissa?
No, thanks, love. I have to be up in the morning.
He's awfully nice, isn't he, George? Yes, I liked him.
Oh, terribly nice, I thought, didn't you, love?
Yes, I liked him. Just at the start, you know, just at the start, I thought things were going to be a tiny bit sticky, because he can be very peculiar. Have you seen this, Sam? David Bailey's latest?
A brownie in my jeans. Lovely pictures in there.
Oh, I didn't think he was being particularly peculiar tonight, love. I thought he was being rather nice. I mean, for George.
Well, quite. I mean, George is nice. Isn't anybody's nice, is it, really?
Well, I liked him.
Yes, well, you know, we thought you would. I mean, that's what I said to Jane. Why not have the touch passes meet old George? Could be marvellous chemistry. One thing, Clarissa, love, I ought to have mentioned, during the meal, his hands didn't start straying to your knees at all, did they?
No. No, I don't think so. Well, honestly, I couldn't feel anything after you spilt that soup down me.
Well, I ought to explain. I did that deliberately.
Deliberately?
Yes. Well, you see, I know what George is like, you see, and I knew he gets on the fumble, and I thought Clarissa would prefer soup down her skirt to George up it. I mean, he does do that, love, doesn't he?
Well, he does it to me, love. That doesn't mean he does it to Clarissa.
Oh, come off it, love. He does it to anybody.
Well, if he does it to anybody, that doesn't mean necessarily he does it to Clarissa.
Well, anyway, he didn't do it to Clarissa, so no harm done.
God, they're brave, these photographs, aren't they? That's my favourite. Bertrand Russell, naked to the waist, standing next to Vidal Sassoon. Really puts Russell in perspective. You know, saying he gets on the fumble, it's not to say anything against him, you know. You know why he does that, don't you?
No.
He's shy. He's terribly shy.
Oh, frightfully shy.
Oh, I didn't notice that. I liked him.
Oh, he is, Sam. You know, he's psychopathically shy in a curious way. You know, he gets at a loss for words the way these Welsh people do sometimes, you know, and feels he has to make a contribution, and that's it. His hand up Clarissa's skirt. It's terribly sad, really, because he's terribly nice. Didn't you think he was terribly nice?
Oh, I liked him.
Yes, well, he does have that effect on people, partly because he is so shy. I think they like him. But I don't know if you noticed it at all, but he does, smell a bit. Did you come across that at all? Well, I didn't. Did you, sir?
I don't think I did. And if he did smell at all, I liked it.
No, but you know when you came in, and you said to me, "Oh, are we having bouillabaisse?" And I said no and looked a bit askance. Well, that was George.
Oh, my God. You don't think he noticed me say that, do you?
No, I'm 100% certain he didn't notice. And if he did notice and it sends him to the life boy, whoopee.
I always think that on the quiet, the ones who want so much of it in the way that George does, I mean, you really can't be without it. I think they're the real queers. I mean, that is Freud, isn't it? Book 1, Part 1, Lesson 1. People are exactly the opposite of what they seem.
Yes. I think there's a bit more to it than that, love.
Yes, I've always been interested in Freud. Something I've always wanted to know about him. Is he the grandfather of Clement Freud?
Very talented family.
Because, you know, Sam knew him when he was much younger.
Freud?
No, George.
Oh, sorry.
Well, no, love. I knew him when I was much younger, but I didn't know him very well. And this may surprise you when I say that I liked him.
I thought you'd known him earlier when you suddenly started talking about Angela Spink. I mean, you know he and Angela had this enormous thing going, then suddenly, you know...
Oh, did you see it? Fabulous recipe in last Tuesday's Sunday Times. I'm so busy chasing up the au pair, I never get round to reading it. Yes, I saw it and made it. Did you?
Oh, my God. You don't think he thought I was being bloodied?
Oh, you weren't being bloody. Nigel was being far bloodier than you.
Look, love, you were the bloody boots today.
Look, love, if you say to somebody you think their wife is the most tedious person in the world, they're bound to take it the wrong way.
Look, you've been
Look,
on the bitches side all day.
look, love, I really think we ought to be going. I've got to be up in the morning.
Yes, well, I have to be up in the morning.
Well, it's been lovely.
Good.
Lovely.
I'm
I'm
so
so glad you liked it.
Yes, I wish. There was the go.
whole object of the exercise. You were right to all.
10 o'clock, how's that? Do I think? Bit later if possible. All right.
Well, actually, that's my coat.
Well, bye, love.
Bye.
Bye, love.
Bye-bye.
Bye, darling. Bye-bye. Go to the I won't hurry. And you must come over here.
Mind how you go.
Bye. Bye. That went off all right.
Yes. I don't think Sam liked George, though. Otherwise, why did he keep saying he did? Anyway, Betty Bite.
Next week, habit forming is habit forming.
Is there room for a little one there? I won't take my coat pop. I'm not stopping. Thank you. I hope you don't think it's a rude question, but, what are you doing dressed up like that for?
Well, like what?
Well, like that. Are you in Mogo?
No.
Well, it's a dishy costume, it is really.
No, you don't understand. This is the real me. I'm in program planning.
Oh, well, you could have fooled me, you could have.
Can I have a salt, please?
Help you to salt, help you to sorrow. I don't know about you, dear, but I can never eat yoghurt in rings. Shall I let you into a secret?
No, what?
I'm not really the Archbishop of Canterbury. I'm just playing the part, you see. I don't know. Do you think it will cause a riot if I loosen my chassis a bit?
Is it an important part?
Well, it was, but it's gone right away to nothing. You know. I started off with 47 words, and I've got 3 left. I mean, you see, you have to be philosophical about it. You have to be philosophical about it, you see, because I don't have a great deal to say. I'm in 3 words, but I've got a great deal to wear, you see. So the one makes up for the other, I always think. I mean, the rings alone weigh 3 pounds. I don't know how Felix Elmer manages. But let's talk about you. What do you do?
Well, as I said before, I'm in program planning.
Oh, so you did. It's this yogurt, it drives everything out of my mind.
You see, we decide which slot everybody goes in.
I'm in the wrong job.
You see, there are 2 extremes. You've got, on the one hand, you've got arts programs late at night, and on the other, early on a Sunday morning, Pakistani programs. And the rest go in between, as it were.
I see. Which slot do you think I'm in?
Well, what are you in?
Well, Len Dayton has done this marvellous adaptation of the Pensée of Pascal, you see. It's being done in modern dress. And I play the Beauty of Holiness. That's why I'm dressed as the Archbishop of Canterbury, you see.
Is that one of these way out productions?
Oh, trendy. Well, I suppose it is really. You see, I have this marvellous scene, my big scene, where I say my 3 words, you see, is where Pascal's inner promptings, played by the black and white minstrels, Pascal's inner promptings and me wrestle for Pascal's soul in mud. It's marvellous. And then we've got Kathy Kirby playing Descartes' mother.
I was a bit of an actor myself once.
I knew it. I could see it written all over your face.
A long time ago, when I was at school, I was in The Importance of Being Earnest. I played the part of Gwendolen.
Still waters. You didn't have the moustache then, did you?
No, that was a later development.
Yeah.
Mind you, I don't watch very much television myself. My favourite programme is Wheelbase. Have you ever been in that at all?
Well, no, really, that's one of the more glittering prizes of the profession that hasn't as yet fallen like a ripe plum into my lap, you know. But, you see, I always think, perhaps wrongly, that we're all actors, really, aren't we? I mean, you're up there in programme planning, I'm here on the studio floor, but we're all playing a part, aren't we, really, in this wonderful human comedy, the comedy humaine, as Molière said. Hey, there's a little fella in yellow trousers waving at me. Hello? Oh, it's our floor manager. See, I'm late. Hey, finish me yogurt. Ta-ra. And the myth. Which is man and which is myth? Is this fact or is it lies? What is truth and what is fable? Where is Ruth and where is Mabel? To some of these questions, I hope to be able to provide the answer. No one who knew T. Lawrence as I did, barely a tool, could fail but to be deeply impressed by him. It is given to few men to become, as he did, a legend in his own lifetime, and it was in pursuit of that legend that I first sought him out in June of 1933 at his cottage at Clouds Hill in Dorset. It was a simple cottage, but I thought I detected Lawrence's hand in the rough, whitewashed wall, the stout paved doorstep, and the heavy oak door, upon which I knocked lightly. It was opened by a small, rather unprepossessing person, slight of frame, fair-haired, and with the ruddy, gleaming face of a schoolboy. It was a schoolboy. I had come to the wrong house. I knew of Lawrence, of course, from his exploits in Syria, where he was attached, though none too deeply, to the British Expeditionary Force. Speaking fluent Sanskrit, he and his boon companion, his Arab body servant, an unmade Bedouin of great beauty, wreaked havoc among the Turkish levies. Lawrence, the Arabs called him, for they are unable to pronounce L's, as distinct from the Chinese, who can pronounce little else. It is interesting, though fruitless to speculate, that had fate taken him to China, he would have been known as Lawrence. However, that is by the way. The story is told that on one occasion, with nothing in his hands but a handful of dates, he crossed the Gobi Desert single-handed, a feat he accomplished on foot. It was at this time that he was taken for a Circassian eunuch by the dreaded Sheikh Hans and subjected to unspeakable privations, the mark of which he bore for the rest of his life and which bore everybody else thereafter. Shaw, or Ross, as Lawrence then called himself, returned from the East in 1919. Shyness had always been a disease with him, and it was shyness and a longing for anonymity that made him disguise himself. Clad in the magnificent white silk robes of an Arab prince, with in his belt the short, curved gold sword of the Ashraf descendants of the Prophet, he hoped to pass unnoticed through London. Alas, he was mistaken. "Who am I?" he would cry despairingly. "You are Lawrence of Arabia," passers-by would stop him and say, "and I claim my £5. For a while he sought refuge in academic seclusion as a fellow of All Souls at Oxford. Here he could mix on equal terms with some of the greatest men of his age. But as Robert Graves has noted, he could not bear to be touched, so that even to rub shoulders with the great filled him with deep loathing.
One hesitates to talk of Lawrence and his body, though the two are inseparable. There have been those, as there always are those, who have said that there was something feminine about his makeup. But there's nothing essentially feminine about makeup, and his was always so discreet. In conversation one night at All Souls, I remember, the conversation had turned to the origins of the First World War and its relation to the vexed question of homosexuality. I saw Lawrence lean forward. "I am not opposed to homosexuality per se," he said quietly, "only per me." There was a murmur of agreement, and the subject was dropped. But can one ever forget him? Those china blue eyes, that boyish, almost girlish figure. The boys at his school had called him Tee-hee Lawrence, and always, the back of his hand, the back of his mind, there was that ready titter.
Mary Kendall, who was born in 1873, made her name as a principal boy and specialized in character songs.
Don't you worry if your hubby tells to you all the wonderful things that his first wife used to do. Don't start crying. If you do, you are a threat. Grab him by the whisker, swing him round the room and say, "Did your first wife ever do?" That's tough to give us. Suppose on Sunday when you're serving out the dinner, he should criticize your cooking and then say sarcastically, "My first wife joins grand and baked potatoes, nice and brown, and for the pastry that she made, she deserved a diamond crown." If your hubby tells to you all the wonderful things that he does, don't stop crying. If you do, you are a friend. Smack the mutton in his eye, then grin at him and say, "Did your first wife ever do that?"
Life and Times in NW1.
Hello, Heidi. Sit down.
Mr. Knocker-through just wants to talk to you, Heidi.
That's quite all right, Jane. I can manage. What Mrs. Knocker-through means, Heidi, is that I just want to talk to you. Now then, little Bert has told me that you're pregnant.
You're pregnant.
There's no need to point at it, Heidi. I don't mind saying that we're rather disappointed in you. We're rather sad about it. Sad? For a Swedish girl, you've been very naive.
Yes, you see, we thought that the thing about Sweden was that it was so much more in advance of England. You see, birth control and so on. Why, she goes and gets herself pregnant like some tuppenny halfpenny Irish skivvy.
Jane, we are socialists. What Mrs. Knocker-through means, Heidi, is that Sweden's a very enlightened country. You know, enlightened. Well, it is, isn't it? They don't have all this business about the royal family, for a start, and people can commit suicide without any fear of the consequences, and there's nude bathing and sauna and smoke.
Yeah, sauna, smorgasbord, yeah.
People don't have this sort of predicament in your Ingmar Bergman films, Heidi, do they?
Ingmar Bergman? Swedish? Swedish?
I think I'm beginning to get through to her. Heidi, you see, we felt that to tell you about birth control, that's, it was rather like teaching one's grandmother to suck eggs. Well, stating the obvious.
Yes, well, it's more telling somebody something that they ought to know already.
Of course, I don't want to say I told you so, Jane, but I told you so. I mean, this is why I wanted her in by 11. You would let her stay out till 12.
Look, love, if Heidi wanted anything, she'd get it by 11.
And she'd get it again by 12.
Just because Heidi's pregnant doesn't mean to say you can be vulgar as well.
I wonder whose child it is.
You don't think it was that awful Nigerian?
Jane, sometimes I think your socialism isn't even skin deep. Heidi, the person, the swine who did this to you, was he black? So he was, white. Oh my God, it's a Chinese waiter. Well,
you see, Heidi, we have to put the children first.
Moral point, Jane. Heidi's having a child too, see?
Yes, love, but we've got ours. She's only having hers. First come, first served.
Well, so far as I can see, there are 3 courses open to us. 1, she goes back to Sweden forthwith. 2, she marries the blighter, but if it's who flung down from the Chinese restaurant, I honestly don't think that's a good idea. Or 3, we compromise and put her out on the street.
Or 4, she has it adopted over here.
No, that wouldn't do. Poor little thing, he'd never speak a word of English.
No, exactly. You see, Heidi, we in England, we are very narrow-minded. Oh, when I say we, of course, I mean I don't mean us.
Not us, Heidi. I mean, you know, we're very broad.
We are very narrow-minded about children born out of wedlock.
Yeah, the children born out of wedlock, bastards, Heidi, that is. Bastards have stigma. You see, whereas in Sweden, you see, what with all the sauna and the smoke...
Sauna, yeah.
Yes, Heidi, and the suicide right, left and centre, and the nude bathing, and the royal family waiting at bus stops. I mean, tiny little stigma like that probably never been noticed. So why don't you go upstairs and pack?
Oh, I've done that for her already.
Now, isn't that kind? Mrs. Knockerthroug's already packed for you, Heidi. Goodbye, I'll see you then. Jane?
Yes, sir?
Shall I ring the agency, love?
Oh, yes, do that. And get an ugly one this time.
That was a poem by my old friend, Philip Larkin. Golly, he's good, you know. But it's awfully difficult writing poetry. I write poetry, and gosh, it's awfully difficult. This is one I've written about going to the excuse me. Bolding Vidas, Shanks New Nisa, the trusty Litchfield swirls it down to filter beds on rice-lip marshes from my loo in Kentish Town. The Burlington, the Rochester, oh, those names of childhood loos. Nursey knocking at the door, have you done your number 2s? Lady typist, office party, golly, all that gassy beer, tripping home down Hendon Parkway to her improved Winderbeer. Chelsea buns and lounge bar pasties, all swilled down with Benskin's pale, purified and cleansed by charcoal, fill the taps in Colindale. Here I sit, alone and 60, bald and fat and full of sin, cold the seat and loud the cistern, as I read the Harpic tin.
In the old days, people were able to change the course of history much more single-handed than they can nowadays. Whereas today, in a democracy, people are much less powerful, or more powerless, if you like, than ever before. Or since.
Cyril Purvis is one of those individual people. But, unlike them, he feels the need to make his mark, to change the course of history.
What I do is fast. Fasting, by my definition, is essentially doing without food for certain periods of time, and thereby stimulating the world leaders into activity. Now take today. Today's been a typical day. I did 2 hours outside Downing Street this afternoon, and another half hour outside Buckingham Palace, which takes me nicely up to tea time. Then I pack it in for the day. You'll notice I don't wear a sandwich board when I'm fasting. And that's because I personally feel a sandwich board would be somehow inappropriate. I just tend to stand there and do it. I sometimes have a wee notice on my back, fast against fluoride, now in its 28th minute.
I asked him whether he thought his was a moral force.
I suppose you could say that I bring a moral force to bear. The sight of my fasting makes the world leaders uneasy. And the sound of my fasting gets on their nerves a bit too. Mind you, I claim no moral credit for this, because I've never been what you might call a enthusiastic eater. Even when I was a wee bairn, the records show that I used to balk at the breast. And my poor mother used to sit by me with the Heinz strained beef and apricot dinner till the Highland cattle came home.
I asked him who had influenced him most.
The greatest faster of them all in terms of the sheer quantity of his fasting was Gandhi. I work every day in the Gandhi Memorial Library. I'm doing research into how much food passed Gandhi's lips in the period March to September 1943. Most of it did pass his lips, actually. Very little of it actually got inside. But there's everything that the student of the Mahatma could want here, you see. All the books about Gandhi. There's my favourite recipes by Gandhi. There's What a Disgraceful Plate by Gandhi's nanny. She was a Miss Ethel Cheeseman. She was to the Gandhis what Crawford was to the royal family. In here, you see, we've got Those Meals I Missed, Gandhi's own book. Then the subsequent volume, The Ravenous Years, Cooking with a Loincloth, you see, and Miss Cecil Woodham Smith's The Great Hunger, and The Battle of the Bulge. Here you see all Gandhi's books.
Are all these Gandhi students, then?
No, not all, no. But each year the followers of the Mahatma have a memorial dinner at the Café Royal, and a real slap-up do it is, too. But you see, I'm seeing that the quantity of Gandhi's fasting was good. It was good, but the quality left a great deal to be desired. I mean, when you consider the stuff he was doing without, poppadoms and Randy Ghosh and all that disgusting Pakistani muck, he was probably much better without it, because he realised it.
I asked him if his fasts would be more effective if they were longer.
No, I don't think so. You see, in fasting, as in everything else, enough is as good as a feast. You don't want to overdo it. I mean, you see, that was Gandhi's mistake. He went right away to nothing, you know. But you see, he who fasts last, fasts longest.
Incidentally, who is that?
He's the local clergyman. He has the run of the library.
How does he see the future?
I think what I'm aiming for is more nationwide fasting. We have Armistice Day, don't we, in a 2-minute silence. But as the law stands at the moment, you can eat yourself sick during that 2 minutes, provided you do so quietly and don't talk with your mouth full. I think it'd be more fitting if we had a fast as well as a silence. I think that's what I'm aiming for.
Turning point, in which people from all walks of life tell of something. A person, an experience, a book perhaps, which changed their lives. A point when their lives took a new direction. And who knows, perhaps a new meaning. Tonight, Cedric Vance, actor. Good evening, Cedric Vance.
Hello. You must excuse me sitting like this, actually, but I've ricked my back. Well, I'm saying I've ricked it. Rick ricked it, actually, but, it comes to the same thing, really. I'm still being manipulated twice a week. Am I on camera too?
Yes.
I'll favour two then.
Has your turning point anything to do with your back?
It has everything to do with my back. But it all began in Goole. You know Goole at all?
No, I've never been there.
It was we were playing the old Tivoli Theatre. Do you know that?
No, I've never been there.
Oh, well, it's been knocked down anyway. But we were doing Caucasian Chalk Garden. It's a sort of semi-Brechtian piece, really, I suppose. But
have we passed your turning point?
We're just coming up to it, do you mind? Anyway, we were playing the production really for movement rather than words, you see. I shall have to demonstrate this on the studio floor, do you mind? You see, the producer was moving us about and... Oh, I'm sorry, did I touch your boom? Anyway, the producer was moving us about a great deal, me especially, you see, and he said to me, Cedric, love, can you cheat down left? So I began to cheat down left, you see, and suddenly I got this terrible pain in the small of my back, you see, just there. Well, I just didn't know what to do. I was in absolute agony. But I cheated down a bit further, you see, and there it was again. So I cheated right off the stage and cheated right away to my little man in London, and he went over me with a fine-tooth comb, you see, and he said, Cedric, he always calls me Cedric, you see, he said, do you know what the trouble is? I said, Doctor. I always call him Doctor. I said, no. I said, tell me. He said, have you ever heard of the coccyx? I said, what? He said, have you ever heard of the coccyx? I said, no, not in so many words, you see. Are you familiar with the spine at all?
No.
Apparently, there is this tiny little bone at the base of the spine called the coccyx. You see, it's about there, you see, there. Do you think I should show the viewers?
No.
Anyway, he said to me, he said, do you know what you've got? I said, no. He said, you have a flaccid coccyx. I came straight out with it. I said, Doctor, how long have I got? And he said, well, he said, it may be 20 years, it may be 20 minutes. I can't promise. You're living on a knife edge. So I went out into that sunny afternoon and I felt as if my whole world had collapsed around my ankles. And it was then that was my turning point. That was when I took to reading.
You took to reading. That
I
was your
took to
turning
books,
point.
you see. I read books.
Is there any one book which has impressed you more than the others, apart, of course, from the Bible and Shakespeare?
There is one book, and I'd like to recommend it to everybody, within reason, that is. Have you ever come across St. John of the Cross?
No.
I should have known better than to ask. St. John of the Cross was a Spanish mystic of the 17th century, you see, who nevertheless knew every nook and cranny of the human soul. I mean, he'd tried the body, you see, found it wanting, and it drove him to the soul. Exactly like me, you see.
You say he's a saint?
He is a saint, but he never misses a trick. He's as smart as paint.
Have you read all his works?
Not all. Now, I've just been through picking out the plums, but there is this marvellous bit about the dark night of the soul. And as soon as I read that, I thought, St. John of the Cross, snap. I know just what you mean, because you see, I used to have dark nights of the soul every Wednesday afternoon when we used to play a matinee in Stoke, and there'd be 5 people in the audience, and they'd drag the rag up 6 times.
Drag the rag up?
He doesn't even speak Queen's English. Drag a rag up is what we theatricals call ringing up the curtain.
Thank you. Well, that's all we've got time for, and more than we've got patience for this evening. So it's Ring Up the Curtain by St. John of the Cross, Cedric Vance's choice for this week. In Turning Point next week, the spot where famous people talk about the books which have made them pause and reconsider, Percy Thrower will be explaining how he reconciles his Christianity with his profession of tomato growing. Until then, good night.
But I...
You know it's against the rules.
Yes, but I
shall have to beat you. Yes.
But
I don't know your face.
I'm a parent.
Oh, so you are.
Yes, I wrote to you about having my son entered at your school, Clapper.
Clapper. That name rings a bell. So you did. Sit down.
Thank you very much.
And is this the boy? Yes. He's a very ugly boy, isn't he?
He takes after his mother.
Oh. I'd better take down his particulars. How old is he?
11.
11? Good heavens. It's a bit on the big side for 11, isn't he?
Big boy, yes.
Yes, I don't know. It's the welfare state, you know. It brings them on like forced rhubarb. How many schools has he been to?
14.
14? What's the matter with him? He's a very ugly boy, isn't he? Oh, dear me. Oh, what's the matter with you, boy? Why have you been to so many schools? Eh? You weren't happy? Oh, good heavens. Why weren't you happy? Eh? Oh, they used to call you snottygogs. Oh, dear.
Well, you see, my school days were so happy that I want Michael's to be happy too.
Oh, yes, well, it's awfully squashed eggs that they called him snottygogs, you know, but they used to call me nickbags. Anyway, they'll be happy here. Oh, yes. They're all happy here, you know. They're not happy. They're very severely punished. Don't pick your nose, boy! Oh, he's a dirty boy, isn't he? Here, use my handkerchief. Go on, use it, boy, use it. Oh, dear.
Very sensitive boy, eh?
Is he? Whereabouts? This is Imogen.
Oh, yes.
My wife.
Your wife?
Oh, it's amazing, isn't it?
It's amazing, yes.
She's like a little piece of Dresden china. I love her.
Smiling, boy! Why are we smiling?
No, sir.
No, sir. No, sir. Well, what were you doing, sir?
Nothing, sir.
Nothing, sir. Don't like boys who do nothing, sir. Boys who do nothing, sir, are idle boys. Don't like them. His face has got a very nasty, innocent look about it, hasn't it? Yes. I suppose there is a fairly average specimen of the Guinness boy.
The Guinness boy?
Well, the Guinness boy, Mr. Clapper. Dirty, spotty, lazy, untidy, given to lying and fighting and nose-picking and talking. And yet, you know, I love them. Yes, I love them. Well, I'm going to say goodbye to him and I'll hand him over to Matron.
Right. Well, goodbye, Michael. I want you to be happy. For Daddy's sake, you will, won't you? Good, well, goodbye to you.
Goodbye, Mr. Clapper, goodbye. Awfully nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Goodbye, 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 goodbye. Boy, snivelling boy. Don't like snivelling boys. Boys who snivel have to be introduced to Mr. Tickler.
Is Mr. Tickler my poor master, sir?
No, this is Mr. Tickler, fresh from the pickle jar and waiting to be introduced. Come along, boy. A whole new world is opening before you. This week we've all been to see Yes, We Have No Pajamas at the National Theatre. J.W. Lambert.
It is only now in 1966 that Yes, We Have No Pajamas is beginning to be accorded its rightful place in the canon of 20th century drama. And here it is now at the National Theatre. It is directed by Peter Brook with his usual stale brioche, with a cast which includes Edith Evans, Sybil Thorndike, and Flora Robson. If I criticize the production now, it is only because I feel that to some extent it has been miscast. I wasn't, for example, entirely happy with Sybil Thorndike. I mean, one is always happy to see Sybil Thorndike in anything, but I really think we ought to see her in something.
I, for one, was increasingly reminded of Swinburne's lines, "We shift and bedeck and bedrape us, thou art noble and nude and antique." Edgar Anstey.
Yes, I thought that in the final tableau, what was it called, Baudelaire Goes Bathing, Flora Robson looked most unhappy.
Flora Robson most unhappy. Alan Boyce Jones.
Well, I didn't think she looked unhappy. I thought she looked cold.
You think she was cold because she was unhappy, or unhappy because she was cold? Christine Brooke Rose.
Cold, unhappy, and quite honestly, not very fetching. Although I must disagree with the statement that the play had been miscast. After all, it's very much of a 30s piece, and so is Dame Sybil, really.
Yes, I like the way they did manage, didn't they, to give that tremendous Ibsen feeling, which I, for one, found tremendously boring. Mind you, Ibsen's never been my cup of tea. It's far too strong.
Carl Miller, did you find the tea at the National Theatre too strong?
No, I didn't. I found it rather weak. Weak may be perhaps too strong a word. But I did feel that the biscuits had a certain Jacobean feel to them.
Yes, I'm glad to hear you felt that, because I felt that too. I'm surprised, though, to hear you mention Ibsen in the context of Yes, We Have No Pajamas, because very much suggested Pinter to me. Pinter, yes. I mean, that scene where the man attacks the naked and defenseless girl with a hatchet had all the quality of veiled menace that one associates with Pinter, didn't it?
Yes.
But is this simply Pinter in panties, or is it me?
I think this is the most exciting thing that Brooke has done this week. He directs with a kind of sterile fertility that we know so well. A kind of... what is the word?
Penelope Gilliard. Randy metaphysics.
Randy metaphysics, that one knows so well.
I did feel, if I may say this, that the introduction of the transvestite scene during the Battle of Trafalgar was a bit superfluous. I mean, if one is going to dress men up as women, I think one really can't do it in a nudist show. But I've been the last person to be thought of, I hope, as an old prudy boots.
Do you hope Harold Hobson is the last person to be an old prude boots? Milton Schulman.
No, I don't. I'd like to say a word here about Peter Brook, if I may. If I say that I think he's extremely stupid, I don't mean that in any derogatory sense. I simply mean that he's not very intelligent. If he were more intelligent, he'd be very clever. But he isn't, and there we are.
And there we are. That's the critics' verdict for this week. Next week we shall be discussing for radio, Spoken Like a Man, a sound portrait of Gertrude Stein. For book, My 10 Best Australian Mystics, an anthology edited by Margaret Lockwood. And for art, the exhibition of Objets Trouvés at the London Transport Lost Property Office. Until then, Merry Christmas.
I didn't know the camera was still running. I'm just taking a shortcut through the studio. I'm in the television production of Royal Hunt of the Sun. I play the Sun King of the Incas, and I'm half man and half god. Only haven't got to ask me which half is which. But I'm playing with Harry Seacombe. He's playing Stout Cortez. And I have this marvellous scene where I'm clad only in a loincloth. Well, I'm saying a loincloth. It's a dishcloth, really. But it's being done on a shoestring. And I don't know what this is. I think it's my Duke of Edinburgh's award. I'm keeping a sharp lookout for the cameramen because they're devils. They're absolute devils. I mean, you see, people think, you know, that it's the director up in the box who does it all, but no. No, you see, the director's miles away, where the cameramen are here on the floor, and you're here on the floor with them. You see, the director will say to them, go in tight on Cedric, and they'll either take not a blind bit of notice, or they'll go in so tight that they can see the pores on your nose. Well, I mean, people don't want to see the pores on my nose. I know that from bitter experience. Oh, dear. Just caught a glimpse of myself in the lens. Oh, dear. Tiny bit of sag there, isn't it? It's beginning to take its toll, you know, is this.
And that's about all for this evening. All that remains is for me to trip a little more of the light fantastic with our lovely ladies, accompanied, of course, by our own lovely ladies, the Carol Caloris Chorale. Good night. Sheltering behind those yashmaks, eyes brimming with mischief. Surprise, surprise, the Carol Caloris Chorale. Led by that pearl in any sultan's diadem, Carol Caloris herself. Wild, untamable, dangerous.
Who are the Carol Caloris Carol? The question is on everybody's lips. Well, for many years they were the toast of Port Said, and they were the only British string quintet in the spearhead of the advance at El Alamein. And personally chased a large number of Germans right out of Africa, and have been chasing them ever since. Well, Carol, seduce us a little more. Morning to you, Mr. Golightly. My name is Prevost Bertisby, and I am your counsel.
Good morning to you, sir, and the top of the milk to you.
Good morning. Now then, I just want to ask you one or two questions, and I must emphasize that you must be completely frank with me.
Oh, yes, sir.
You see, I must be in possession of all the facts if I'm to go up into court and plead your innocence, so you must be frank with me.
Yes, sir.
Now then, I want to begin by asking you whether you, in fact, committed the crime of which you're accused.
Oh, yes, sir. I did, sir.
I don't think you can have understood me quite. You must be completely frank with me. There's no need to pretend that you committed the crime if in point of fact you didn't. Now I'm going to ask you again, did you commit this offense?
No, sir.
I'm so glad you've come out into the open with me.
Great weight off my mind, too, sir.
Good. Now then, you've been accused...
And wrongfully and wickedly accused, sir.
Wantonly accused, yes,
sir.
Of loitering with intent to commit a felony. Now then, Mr. Golightly...
Call me Fingers, sir.
Fingers? Now that's an unusual nickname, isn't it? Why are you called that? Is it perhaps something to do with your hands?
Yes, sir, I'm told, sir, I have very artistic fingers. You just
So
watch that there, sir.
So you do.
Yes, sir.
The hands of an artist or a sculptor.
Yes, sir.
Well then, Fingers,
Yes, sir.
have you any idea what your defense is going to be?
Well, no, you didn't do it, sir.
Yes, well, I think we can afford to fill that out a little. It's not in itself a cast iron defense.
But I didn't do it, sir. I didn't do it. I swear I didn't do it. And if I did it, may God strike me dead on the spot, sir.
Well, we'll just give him a moment, shall we? Good. Well, that's good. Unfortunate thing is, Fingers, is that though the fact that God has held his hand satisfies me, I doubt very much whether it's going to satisfy the judge.
Well, sir, I thought I might try insanity, sir.
Yes, well, robbery while insane isn't a common crime. But I think we might have got by with that, except for the fact that Mr. Justice Trebizond was himself a trifle insane as a child, but conquered the disability, and as a result has been implacably opposed to insanity ever since. We can't really, no. Now then, it appears that you were observed on the night of September the 12th, loitering in a suspicious manner outside the residence of a widow, Mrs. Edith Coddington.
Yes, sir.
And loitering specifically on the sill of the third-floor bathroom window.
Yes, sir.
Now, I'm quite sure in my own mind, Fingers, that you've got a completely satisfactory explanation for this, or if you haven't, it's just slipped below the surface of your mind, whence I, with my immense legal experience, will be able to retrieve it.
Well, sir, the point is, sir, that I wasn't loitering, sir. I was just doing my job, sir.
Oh, and what job is that?
Well, sir, I'm in business in a small way as a night repairer of bathroom windows, sir.
You see, seems a trifle specialized to a layman like myself. What are the advantages of being a night repairer?
Well, there's very little competition, sir, for one thing. And on the night in question, I was just doing a bit of freelance work outside of number 13 Scroggy Street.
Were you looking at the window or through it?
Oh, at it, sir. Oh, quite definitely. And in particular, sir, at the grouting of the window, sir. The shocking grouting of the window. Think to myself what shocking grouting that is. Enough to aggravate a saint.
I see. Did you happen to notice, out of the corner of your eye, as it were, anybody come into the bathroom?
Well, sir, now you come to say it, I do vaguely remember someone coming in. But I remember thinking, what shocking grouting. Oh, what shocking grouting. Ah, here's the widow Coddington after having a bath. Oh, what shocking grouting.
Did you happen to notice what she was wearing, or failing that, what she was not wearing?
Well, as a matter of fact, I did, sir. Yes, sir. She was wearing loyal stockings and some carpet slippers and a thick grey skirt and a green cardigan and a long, voluminous fur coat down to her ankles, sir. But that's all I can remember on the spur of the moment.
I see. So when she says, as she does in her statement, that she came into the bathroom clad only in her E-type knickers, she's lying.
Down to the bottom of her black heart, sir. She's a mendacious woman, that Mrs. Connington. She lies like a stair carpet, sir.
Well, I think that's all I want, Fingers, really. I shall, of course, try to discredit the character of Widow Coddington.
Yes, sir.
I notice she's got a Polish lodger, which in the eyes of the law is synonymous with moral laxity. It hasn't yet been made statutory. I shall, of course, try and get these E-type knickers brought into evidence.
And held against her, sir.
Exactly. And I hope we can have them passed round among the jury, which should surely sway them against her.
It surely will, sir.
Yes, I hope it will.
Your case is called, sir.
Oh, good. Well, come along, Fingers, come along.
Yes,
I should perhaps have asked you earlier on whether you've any other convictions of a similar nature. I don't suppose you have you?
Well, sir, on one or two occasions I've been wrongfully and wickedly accused, sir, but I've only been convicted 27 times.
I see. Well, perhaps you'd better just run through those as we go upstairs.
Yes, sir. Well, the first occasion was
Laurie Ford was born in Australia in 1876 and appeared there in pantomime, variety and burlesque. Here we see her in an actual performance, beginning with Down at the Old Bull and Bush.
Come and make eyes at me down at the old Bull and Bush. Come, have the full fight with me down at the old Bull and Bush. Hear the German band, just let me hold your hand. Do, come and have a drink or two down at the old Bull and Bush. Just one more, and this is the last. It's a long way to Tipperary. It's a long way to go. It's a long way to Tipperary. The freedom that I know. Goodbye, Piccadilly. Farewell and come well. It's a long, long way to Tipperary. Got my heart right there.
Life and Times in NW1.
Did you know that celery is the only food with negative calories? And if you fed on celery alone, you'd starve to death. Sam, I mean, Nigel. Talk to me. You've gone all quiet.
Oh, sorry, love, I was miles away. I was just thinking. I suppose these are wild oats, really, aren't they? Anybody? Late sowing. I suppose I'd better put my glasses on if we're going to talk. Oh, it's very nice bed, isn't it?
It is, isn't it?
No, love. I mean, this bed, you know, this bed's lovely. You know, I mean, bed's nice, you know, whoopee, but... you know, I was actually meaning this particular bed. Where did you get it?
Do you know, it was green.
So, how did you do it?
Well, Sam did most of the donkey work. He used to come to bed, and then when we had nothing better to do, he'd set to with the metal polish. Well, in no time at all, it came up like new.
Oh.
Oh, love, pass me my contact lenses, will you? They're just on that little paper.
What funny books Sam reads, isn't he? G.H. Lawrence.
Oh, he's
dear.
mad about Lawrence.
Yes, I like him. I don't think he'd have liked me either. Bedside Bridget Brophy. The Dilemma of Western Man by David Kossoff. I bet that's a jolly good read. You know, I suppose one's getting older, but on occasions like this, I really do miss my pajamas. Give me some more clothes. All I'm getting is the rough male kiss of blankets. Oh, and look, my poor feet are out. Oh, dear. I've never been really happy with my feet, you know. I don't know, they don't seem to make a satisfactory ending to my legs somehow.
Yes, I've always felt that about my wrists.
Oh, no, your wrists are lovely. Much better than my feet. Yes. It is funny, you know, the way one feels more and more extramarital as one gets older.
Oh, well, I suppose we better make a move. Oh, do pass me my contact lenses, love.
Oh,
what's that?
I've dropped one.
Oh, no.
Keep absolutely still. Look, it's rolled down in the bed. Hold on.
Can you see it?
What? Here it is.
Oh, thank goodness. Well, that's not it. That's one of Sam's toenails.
Why you didn't keep your flaming contact lenses in the first place?
Well, if you don't wear your pajamas, I don't see why I should wear my contact lenses. I mean, you think you look better without your pajamas. I know I look better without my contact lenses.
Yeah, but if you don't put your contact lenses in, there's no point in me not wearing my pajamas. I can't see anything anyway. Anyway, witching hour of 3:30. I've got to go and get the kids from school. Shall I fetch yours?
No, thanks, love. James is at the dentist.
Oh, dear. I've always wondered, you know, when they do this sort of scene on television, whether they actually do it, you know, properly, whether they are Harry Starkers, or what. I mean, the woman's always, you know, with the sheet right up to her neck, you see, and the man's always got a convenient piece of blanket. And then, when he stands up, you see, they cut away, and you just never know. I mean, he might be wearing a pair of heavy tweed trousers for all one knows.
Tonight, Mr. Cyril Bracegirdle, newly appointed reader in the theory and practice of lingerie at the University of Essex.
Mr. Bracegirdle, to a layman like myself, the theory and practice of lingerie hardly seems a fruitful academic discipline. Is there anything at all to be gained from the systematic study of underclothing?
Christmas, yes. Lingerie is the most eloquent witness to man's hopes and aspirations. I say lingerie, but my own particular stamping ground is the corset. I am basically a corset man.
And also a voice crying in the wilderness, I believe. Essex is alone in fostering such studies.
Yes, but I think the day is coming, I hope the day is coming anyway, when we shall see all over the country professors in underclothes.
You see, the corset is as much a social document with as much to tell us about contemporary society as his doomsday book.
Mr. Bracegirdle, what does this corset tell us?
Well, this corset is from the period immediately prior to the 1914-18 war, and you can see how the sense of strain, the sense of impending outburst, is echoed in the corset. Had there been an experienced corset reader, such as myself at that time, he could have gone to the world leaders with this particular garment and said, fools, look at this corset. Can you not see that war is imminent? Stop this nonsense at once. But he didn't, and as a result, there were 4 years of extreme unpleasantness.
And after the war, of course, there came a period of release. The corset passed into desuetude along with the bosom.
Yes, where did the bosom go between the wars? No one has as yet answered that question. Why is it that at some periods the bosom has the appearance of an undivided entity? Why is it that at others it resolves itself into its component parts? Why do corsets tend to lose
their flavour on the bedpost overnight?
No, you're putting words into my mouth.
Yes, well, perhaps we'd better look at our bottle.
Yes.
What is this?
This is Denise, wearing a French provincial corset of the early 1890s, probably made in Lyon or Saumur. Simple wrap-over style, you see, side vents, vestigial knicker legs, and typically French, this rather coy little gusset. Thank you, Denise. You see, the language of the corset is as subtle as the language of the fan. The trailing lace, the gusset left ever so slightly ajar, you see. These speak volumes to the aficionado.
And who is this?
Now this is Dolores in... Now then, yes, this is that rarity, a signed corset, from the atelier of that greatest of all corsetiers, Ortega y Gasset. Drove a coach and horses through the concept of corsets as they were then understood. Notice the very typical Gasset gusset. Thank you, Dolores. That one was modelled by his mother, Mrs. Edith Willis, for the then Queen Ina of Spain.
What did you say her name was?
Ortega y Gasset, a name sacred wherever underwear is spoken. The first man actually to put his finger on midriff bulge, as we know it today. He spent his life in the service of underwear, and at his death left his body to lingerie. He gave his guts for garters.
Mr. Bracegirdle, where do we go from here? What is being done?
Well, at Essex at the moment, we're waiting for a new school of corsetry, to be designed, of course, by Sir Basil Spence. And I understand there are plans for a National Corset Week organised by the Women's Institutes and the British Institute of Directors. But much more remains to be done.
Well, what would you like to see done?
Well, I'd like to see lingerie libraries. We have a small reading room down at Essex, organised around the hard core of Patricia Rock's underslip. I'd like to see government grants for the restoration of old camisoles. I'd like to see a minister with special responsibility for underwear.
In addition to Mr. George Wiggs?
Yes. And most of all, I would like to see our gracious lady herself, whom God preserve, in underwear rather more often than one does. It would give a great fillip to the industry and set an example to the country at large.
Mr. Bracegirdle, thank you.
Life and Times in NW1.
Look, Sam, this been absolutely marvellous. We must do this again.
Yes, why don't we?
Yes, why don't we?
I mean, we must get together.
We must get together. Right, well, that's it, isn't it? Okay. Ciao.
When?
When what?
Well, when can we get together?
Oh, what sort of times are you free?
Well, I'm free almost any time. Perhaps you give me a ring. Or better still, telephone, then we can fix up a time.
Yes, why don't I do that? Trouble is, things are a bit tight at the moment. Jane's got her mother down, and her mother's got me down, and I'm rereading Proust for the third time. You know how it is.
Yes, well, why don't I give you a ring? Would that be better, rather than you give me a ring, as it were?
Fine. Why don't you do that? Okay. Right. Ciao.
When would be the best time to ring?
Oh, well, you can always find me at home between 4 and 10 past on Thursdays.
I'll put that in my little book. 4 and 10 past on Thursday.
Hold everything. I'm saying Thursdays. It's actually alternate Thursdays. Because the other Thursdays I'm in Andover.
Other Thursdays, Andover.
Yes.
Right, got that. Good. Well, yes, I'll give you a ring.
Why don't you do that? Fine. Okay. Ciao.
No use arranging a time now, really, I suppose, is there?
Not really, sir.
Only I'm free all next week. What about Tuesday?
Tuesday, now then. Isn't Tuesday Good Friday or something? There's something about it. Oh, no. We're going up to the Everyman to see a very early Dulce Gray.
Well, what about Wednesday? Could I pop round then?
Wednesday, yes. No. It's the feast of the circumcision of St. Paul, and I don't know that Jane isn't laying something on for me. So that's out. Thursday, no, because I'm all tied up with Tristram between 3 and 4.
Well, what about the rest of the day?
Well, I'm all tied out with Tristram between 3 and 4, and it really takes me the rest of the day to recover. Then there's Friday night, but Friday night is music night, so that's out.
Well, what about Saturday?
Saturday?
It would be nice if we could do it then, because it's the Duke of Edinburgh's birthday.
Oh, I've got that too. No, I've just noticed it's a total eclipse of the sun, so if we did meet, we probably wouldn't be able to see each other. No, and next week's full. I am free most of next year, though I'm rather hoping to be in Mozambique next year. So that's out.
Well, look, why don't we fix up a time when we can meet, in order then to fix up a time when we can meet?
Why don't we do that? Fine, yes. Are you in the book?
Yes, you know, Touch Pacey. We're among the T's, and among the P's too, actually.
Well, we're not. I mean, in the book. I mean, not because we are nobody. I mean, we're not, comparatively, you know. It's just I find that if you're in the book, you are absolutely at the mercy of boring old people from way back who can get hold of you and really bore the pants off you.
Yes, I know. I get plagued with those.
Do you? Really? Okay, well, that's it. Ciao. Love to Clarissa.
Oh, didn't you know?
No. What?
Well, that it all blew up in our faces. You know the way it does, and I'm still trying to pick up the pieces, actually.
No, I'm sorry.
Well, that's actually what I wanted to talk to you about.
Well, when we meet next year, we must talk about it.
Well, I don't suppose we can have another drink and talk about it now?
Well, Sam, I am rather pushed, Sam.
Well, it won't take long, and I have been fairly near suicide, actually.
Give us your bit of paper.
No, you've had this bit.
I have not had that bit.
Well, what whatever bit you've got, then?
This is the supplement on the work of the Yorkshire Egg Marketing Board. And if you think I'm going to be sat here reading this, you're mistaken. Come on, I want to look at Memoriam. Lot of deaths in tonight. There's 5 columns of deaths. There's only 7 birds. I think folk must be thinning out a bit. I do that. Hey, I did not co-op did funerals. be burned.
Oh, they are all black. I thought you were contrast that were wrong.
What will you think on?
What?
Totally cremated.
Ah, right.
Well, you better write it down. You know why you'll go and forget. Hey, I'll put it on you hand and bloody foot.
You make a better door than a window. There's something wrong with our set, you know. It makes folks look right poorly. I mean, Barlow, see? In radio times, he's a right big brushing fella. And when you see him on our set, he's as thin as a rat. Picture writer's wrong, you know. Are you reading that bit of paper? Because they don't give us a chance.
I am reading it. I'm reading memoriams. Here's a lovely one. Down the lane of memory, the lights are never dim. Until the stars forget to shine, we shall remember her. When coughing goes through, it doesn't go straight in, does it? I mean, you don't see smoke and flames coming out ever, do you?
Do you rummer see smoke and flames coming out? You're lucky to see coughing go through at all. They whisk it away that quick. I know, because I went up for my Auntie Sissy Turner's funeral. I wanted to see last of her, because she'd led us a right dance. And I was keeping my eye on that coffin, and I just turned round to have a word with our Cora, and be Joves, when I turned back it had gone. I felt right cheated somehow. See, she's turned her hairdryer on again. She's no consideration.
When I go, I want to be scattered.
Scattered? Whereabouts?
I think I'd like to be scattered on South Shore at Blackpool on an old bank holiday Monday.
Bloody mad, South Shore at Blackpool. There's crowds of folks there that time of year. And besides, municipality won't want all them smokes blowing about there. It's a smokeless zone.
I see Lighthowlies have put an acknowledgement in. Mrs. Edie Lighthowley wishes to thank all those who have sent expressions of sympathy, letters of condolence, floral tributes during her sad loss. Also to doctors, nurses, staff, ward cleaners, furnace men on Road 22.
Ah, well, they didn't do him much good, lot of them, did they?
And Edie Heseltine's got one in and all. I often wish that I could say, I'll go and see how we build today. She's a cheat. She were going out with that Paul before they'd even laid him out.
I know one thing. When I go, I want to go sudden. Like my Grandma Pierce. She was sat up in bed having a bowl of celery soup, and she says, this celery soup tastes grand. And next minute she'd gone, and it went all over the floor.
Do you think God has got a garden, Dad?
Does he have a garden? I don't know.
I think he must have, you know. Do you remember when Aunt Alice were dying and she were in that coma? Well, I was sitting by the fire, because they brought her bed down to the stairs into the front parlour. And she sits bolt upright in bed and she says, Madge, she says, Madge, they're coming. Well, I don't know what to do. She says, Madge, she says, Madge, it's marvellous. We're conquered.
Next minute she'd gone.
Well, you'll never get me to believe there's nothing after that.
29th verse of the 19th chapter of the book of Genesis. He said, but my brother Esau is an hairy man, but I am a smooth man. He said, but my brother Esau is an hairy man, but I am a smooth man. Perhaps I can paraphrase that and say the same thing in a different way by quoting you some words from that grand Old Testament prophet Ezra. Ezra 4:16. He said unto me, what seest thou? And I said, lo, I see the children of Beeby numbering 673, and I see the children of Isgard numbering 1,474. I see the children of Beeby numbering 673, and I see the children of Isgard numbering 1,474. Words which express, as so very few words do, that sense of lack which lies at the very heart of modern existence. That sense of, I don't quite know what it is, but I'm not getting everything out of life that I should be getting, sort of feeling. But they're more than this, you know, these words. Much, much, much more. Because they are, in a very real sense, a challenge to each and every one of us here tonight. What is that challenge? As I was on my way here tonight, I arrived at the station, and by an oversight, I happened to come out by the way one is supposed to go in. As I was coming out, an employee of the railway company hailed me. Hey, Jack, he shouted. Where do you think you're going? That, at any rate, was the gist of what he said. You know, I was grateful to him because, you see, he put me in mind of the kind of question I felt I ought to be asking you here tonight. Where do you think you're going? Very many years ago, when I was about as old as some of you are now, I went mountain climbing in Scotland with a very dear friend of mine. And there was this mountain, you see, we decided to climb it. And so, very early one morning, we arose and we began to climb. All day we climbed. Up and up and up, higher and higher and higher, till the valley lay very small below us. The mist of the evening began to come down and the sun to set. When we reached the summit, we sat down to watch this magnificent sight of the sun going down behind the mountains. And as we watched, my friend very suddenly and violently vomited. Some of us think life's a bit like that, don't we? But it isn't, you know. Life! Well, it's rather like opening a tin of sardines. We're all of us looking for the key. And I wonder how many of you here tonight have spent years of your lives looking behind the kitchen dressers of this life for their key. I know I have. Some of us think we found the key, don't we? We roll back the lid of the sardine tin of life. We reveal the sardines, the riches of life therein. We get them out. We enjoy them. But you know, there's always a little bit in the corner that you can't get out of. I wonder, is there a little bit in the corner of your life? I know there is in mine. So now, I draw to a close. We prepare to go out into the world. I want you, in times of trouble and sorrow and hopelessness and despair, amid the hurly-burly of modern life, if ever you're tempted, I want you then to remember, for comfort, the words of my first text to you tonight. But my brother Esau is an hairy man, but I am a smooth man. lights are going out, one by one. The floor is cleared, the studio empties. The cameras stand, blind and silent and unattended. Carol has gone, and all that is left is a flower to show that here pleasure has been, and joy and laughter, where now only silence and dust and gloom. Sandra, in makeup, has put away her lipstick and mascara. Cedric, in wardrobe, has put on his. And now, only we are left. But remember that here, for a brief while, we cupped our hands against the wild night and snatched these few moments of gladness like a brand from the furnace of time. The last lights go out. We alone are here. And now, silence, like a poultice, comes to heal the wounds of sound. Good night.